If you want to feed your cat the best possible diet to contribute to a long and healthy life, stop looking at the pictures on the front of the bag. They're advertisements, not information. If you want to know if a cat food is actually garbage, you need to decode the tiny text on the bag. But this is easier than you might think. In this video, I show you how to spot marketing tricks in seconds and what you really look for when reading a label to pick the best possible food for your cat. Cats are obligate carnivores. Unlike dogs or humans who can burn carbs for energy, a cat's liver has to constantly burning protein. But not all protein is created equal. Only animal proteins are considered complete proteins because they contain all the essential amino acids in the right ratio. Plant proteins don't have this ratio and also lack the essential amino acids taurine and arginine. A vegan diet without heavy synthetic supplementation would be a death sentence for a cat. Many commercial cat foods use plant proteins anyway to cut costs and then simply add synthetic nutrients to the mix. Imagine you ate nothing but white toast and then simply swallow a handful of supplements to make up for the missing nutrients. To a chemist, it would be the same because the molecules are the same. Unfortunately, the reality is more complicated. Just because a nutrient is in the food doesn't mean the cat's body can use it. In nature, nutrients never exist alone. They come in a complex matrix with hundreds of other compounds that help them work. Real meat contains thousands of bioactive peptides, coenzyme Q10, and enzymes that we are just beginning to understand. Because synthetic supplements are chemically isolated, they lack these natural cofactors. For example, the body absorbs iron from real meat significantly better than from the inorganic mineral salts and cheap premixes. To compensate for this poor bioavailability and also for the nutrients lost during high heat processing, manufacturers add massive safety margins, sometimes far exceeding the daily requirements. Other synthetics, like vitamin D, are highly potent and bioavailable. In nature, it's almost impossible to overdose on nutrients. But in a factory, a simple math error can turn a meal into a poison. When a cat food is labeled complete in the UK or Europe or AAFCO certified in the US, the food meets the minimum requirement for nutrients. But it doesn't tell you if that protein comes from a high-quality chicken breast or corn with synthetic powder. So here's how to read the ingredients list. Try to avoid foods where plant-based ingredients appear in the top 5. The best recipes completely avoid using grain as a cheap filler. Pay attention to the ingredient splitting trick. If the first ingredient is chicken, followed by ground corn, corn gluten and corn flour, it's likely the main ingredient is actually corn, and chicken is only the second. In a quality cat food, at least the first 2 ingredients are named meats, like chicken, beef, chicken heart, beef liver, and things like that. Unnamed meats like meat meal or animal byproduct are often rendered at high heat, which can damage the protein and lower its bioavailability compared to fresh or gently cooked meat. Most cat owners already know that sugars are a fast track to obesity and feline diabetes and therefore try to avoid them. But the industry knows we're getting smarter, so they try to hide these ingredients under new names. Here's a list of names that all mean sugar. Also watch out for ingredients that behave like sugar. These add carbohydrates that break down into simple sugars during digestion and processing. These lists are not complete, and the industry is constantly coming up with new ingredients. So when you read the ingredients list, research every word you don't know. Also try to avoid BPA-lined cans and technical additives like guar gum, cassia gum or carrageenan. There's a strong scientific link between BPA exposure and feline hypothyroidism, one of the most common hormonal diseases in older cats. Because cats are small, the dosage they get from a daily can of food is significant compared to their body weight. Look for cans explicitly labeled BPA-free or switch to pouches or raw food. Carrageenan can trigger inflammation. While the industry claims that food-grade carrageenan is safe, studies suggest that the acidic environment of the stomach can break it down into a toxic form that can damage the gut lining. Semi-refined cassia gum contains dangerous levels of DNA-damaging toxins. Only the more expensive purified version is safe. Unless the brand explicitly guarantees they use purified cassia gum, you're essentially gambling with your cat's long-term health to save the company a few pennies. Other gums like guar gum act as cheap glue. In high amounts, they can block the absorption of protein and nutrients, undoing all the good work of the meat in the food. If you have any additions, please write them in the comments. For the nerds, I've linked the scientific sources for further reading in the description box below. Don't forget to subscribe for more cat care deep dives. Thanks for watching.